good morning to you and thank you for joining us. You are watching the news on African Free Press Television. My name is Bridget Okudili with the news updates. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has arrested the immediate past acting chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Uche Secondus. The party's director for new media, Adeyanju Ayodeji, said the EFCC accused Mr. Secondus of receiving buses illegally and demanded he return them. Mr. Secondus' tenure as acting chairman of the party ended last week Monday with the selection of Ali Modu Sharif as the party's new national chairman. In a statement by the party's national legal advisor, Victor Kwon, the PDP lamented the oppressive and unfair treatment against its key leaders by the federal government. And meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari has vowed to severely punish all those involved in the padding of the 2016 national budget. Addressing the Nigerian community in Saudi Arabia, President Buhari condemned the distortion of the budget proposals by entrenched interests. The president said that the unauthorized alterations had completely changed the document from the one he presented to the National Assembly. In a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, the president vowed to fish those involved out and deal with them squarely. He also assured members of the Nigerian community that his administration was working diligently to fulfill its campaign promises, particularly in security, unemployment and corruption. Reaffirming his government's zero tolerance for corruption, President Buhari said that the war against corruption was a monumental task that he is determined to tackle successfully. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is seeking clarification of the Anambra National Assembly elections recent ruling at the Supreme Court in Abuja. The Ogwebego faction and lawmakers representing the party at the National Assembly have all approved the Apex Court to interest in judgments as it concerns the various seats in the National Assembly. The Supreme Court on its part has asked the Council to INEC to prove that it has jurisdiction to hear the case. It will be recalled that the Supreme Court had, in a judgment delivered in January, resolved the protracted leadership crisis that rocked the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Anambra State. The Apex Court, in a judgment by a 7-man panel of justices, recognized the Ogwebego-led faction of the PDP as the authentic state executive committee of the party. And the trial of a former Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Patrick Akpoblu-Kemi, and 6 others has now been fixed for February 29. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) had arraigned the man before Justice Raliat Adebiyi on January 21st and on a 13-count charge of forgery and stealing about 754.7 million naira. The EFCC specifically accused the defendants of converting to their personal accounts the use a sum of 346.8 million naira released to them by NIMASA, a sum meant for the implementation of voluntary International Maritime Organization member states audit scheme. They were also accused of forging a document of request for payment of consultant for NIMASA services with intention to commit fraud. The offences are said to be contrary to Section 409 and punishable under Section 285, subsection 1 of the Criminal Code Laws of Lagos State 2011. The defendant had also pleaded not guilty, and Justice Adebiyi had granted the former NIMASA boss and 4 other accused persons bail in the sum of 20 million naira with 2 sureties in like sum. The last 2 accused persons got bail in the sum of 2 million naira with 2 sureties in like sums. The other accused persons are Ezekiel Abaga, Ekene Nwakuche, Amechi Juan, Vincent Udoye, Adegoyega Olopenia, and a company, Gamma Marine Nigeria Limited. The former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. Desiani Alison Madueke, who is currently undergoing extensive cancer treatment in London, has strongly refuted claims that she gave $24 billion oil swap deals without contract. In a release issued to journalists in Abuja, Mrs. Alison Madueke rejected some newspaper and online reports which sensationally claimed that she granted an extension instead of approval for the renewal of contracts for the swap arrangements. She described the latest attack on her person as fabricated tissues of lies deviously concocted to sustain the escalating evil narratives against her person. And on the foreign scene, a South African court has sentenced a Czech businessman to 35 years in jail for attempted murder and kidnapping. The charges against Radovan Kucher, seen in the kingpin of Johannesburg's criminal underworld, dates back to drug deal in 2013. He was accused of ordering the kidnapping of a man whose brother had disappeared with 25 kg of crystal meth. The man testified that KG poured boiling water over his head. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has easily won the U.S. state of Nevada, cementing his lead in the race for party nomination. The billionaire now has 3 consecutive wins after victories in New Hampshire and South Carolina. Senators Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, who have been attacking each other this week, are vying for second place. Party officials said they were looking into reports of double voting and not enough ballots at one caucus site. Some volunteers also wore clothing in support of Mr. Trump, but officials said this was not against the rules. And in sports, Manchester City may be toiling domestically at the moment, but they produced a superb European away performance to beat Dynamo Kyiv 3-1 in Ukraine in their Champions League last 16 first leg on Wednesday. Manuel Pellegrini's side did enough to win the game in the first half, with Sergio Aguero and David Silva both scoring to underline their importance to City. Dynamo pulled a goal back in the second half through midfielder Vitaly Buyelski, but Yaya Toure last beauty ensured that City are very proud on course to reach the quarter-finals for the first time in their history. And for more stories, please log on to our website at www.africanfreepress.com, like our Facebook page at African Free Press, follow us on Twitter at African Free Press, and don't forget to join in our discussions on African Free Press Forum and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. My name is Bridget Okudili. Do have a good day.